If there's one driver who has made an impression in Bahrain, it's Gabriel Bortoleto. Right from the first free practice of the season, the Brazilian showed that he's not here to mess around. With the sun punishing the track and many others still testing car setups, Bortoleto impressed by finishing the session with the 11th best time and even led the session for a few minutes. That's right, his name was at the top of the timing sheets while many bigger names were still trying to find their rhythm. And it wasn't just a fluke. His time of 1 minute 34.628 seconds was a solid effort, the same time he had posted in Australia during the opening free practice of the season. It might seem like a coincidence, but the truth is that repeating this performance on two very different tracks shows that he has a solid base, understands the car well, and has confidence in his work. In a grid full of competition, with veterans trying to stay on top and rookies trying to make a name, Bortoleto has managed to stand out calmly and quietly, just doing his thing, and that counts for a lot in a season like this one, where every detail could secure a spot for the future. If Bortoleto's performance was already making waves, just imagine when we look inside Sauber and see who is sharing the garage with him. On the other side of the box is none other than Nico Hülkenberg, a man who has seen it all in Formula 1. In Bahrain's practice session, the German ended up with the 6th best time, making it clear that the internal team battle is going to be intense. This puts Bortoleto in a delicate and challenging position. He needs to learn from such an experienced teammate, while also proving himself to ensure he isn't just the likable rookie of the season. The truth is, he's balancing this very well, avoiding rivalry, but making it clear that he won't let anyone use him as a stepping stone. Additionally, in tight seasons like 2025, when the midfield is more crowded than ever, performance within the team becomes a direct argument for contract renewals, gaining more space, and perhaps attracting attention from other teams. In the end, what's at stake is not just a free practice result, but the positioning of a driver who wants to be taken seriously. What few people realize when they see an 11th place finish on the timing sheets is how much strategy is behind such a result. Gabriel Bortoleto didn't just go out there in Bahrain to race. He and the Sauber team were focused on collecting data, testing fine-tuning, and understanding how the car reacts in an extreme climate like the desert heat of Sakhir. Even with this more technical focus, he managed to run at a very competitive pace. This type of performance says a lot about his maturity. Some drivers go out desperate for quick times, pushing harder than they should, and end up with damaged cars or unnecessary wear. Not Bortoleto. He uses each stint wisely, knowing when to take risks and when to observe. Another thing that stands out is how well he preserved the car in a practice session where the heat was intense, and many drivers complained about grip. Gabriel managed to maintain consistency without making mistakes or overdoing it. This shows that he already has the mindset for the big leagues. If this balance between speed and intelligence continues, it won't be long before we see his name more frequently in the season highlights, not just in the practice sessions. Behind the scenes, in the pits and the narrow corridors of the paddock, Bortoleto's name is already starting to circulate with a different weight. Even as a rookie in the category, his professionalism with the team, his mature attitude in interviews, and of course, his on-track performance are drawing attention from engineers, journalists, and even bosses from other teams. No one speaks openly because Formula 1 is a world of whispers, but respect is growing. What's most interesting is that he doesn't force the spotlight. Gabriel isn't one of those drivers who shows up in every social media post or creates controversies for headlines. He lets the car speak for itself, and it's exactly this more focused, reserved, and committed approach that is impressing in the paddock. Another advantage is his adaptability. In a short time, he's already understood how the off-track game works. He deals well with journalists, knows when to speak, when to hold back, and when to point out the team's mistakes without causing a crisis. For a young driver, this is a huge advantage. If he continues in this vein, Bortoleto could become one of those names that doesn't just stay in the midfield, but begins to be sought after by bigger teams. With the current state of Formula 1, which is constantly evolving, 2025 is shaping up to be an especially interesting year for anyone looking to establish themselves. For Gabriel Bortoleto, this moment could be a turning point in his career. The talent is already there, and the moment has arrived. Now, it's up to him to turn these good impressions into consistent results throughout the season. What we saw in the first free practice of the 2025 Bahrain GP wasn't just another Friday. In Formula One, it was the confirmation that Gabriel Bortoleto is no longer a distant bet. He's a reality in the making, standing out in one of the most competitive environments in world sport. And what impresses is not just the lap time, but the whole package: maturity in communication, race intelligence, respect for the team's strategies, and a veteran-like attitude with less than half a season under his belt. In a scenario where many rookies emerge with a bang and disappear after a few GPs, Gabriel is doing the opposite, growing slowly but steadily, step by step. And that's how great careers are built. Formula One isn't just made of pole positions, it's about consistency, handling pressure, understanding the car, and delivering even when the equipment isn't the best. Slowly, he's gaining something even more important than a podium: credibility in the paddock. And once that happens, the next step could come from where we least expect it: a seat in a bigger team, a chance to lead a project, or even a surprising rise to the front of the grid. Now, I want to know, do you think Bortoleto will turn this good start into a standout season? Let me know in the comments below, and if you liked this content, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell because there's plenty more to come this season.